Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode. In this episode, we are doing rear hub bearings on my Focus ST here. This is going to be the same for all Focus, so I'm not going to put Focus ST in the label of the video, but steps are going to be the same. Step 1, jack up the car and take the wheels off. To get to the wheel bearing, we need to get to these 4 bolts back in here. To make our life easier and be able to use tools that we want to use, we're going to take out the lower control arm, which only has 2 bolts. One here and one over here. The hub is the same part on both sides. HA590451. We need to disconnect this sensor here. You're going to use a flathead pushing this little tab in. At the same time you're pulling it out. Or just do it with your finger. Pull the sensor out of this guy. And fold him out of the way so you don't accidentally smash him with the hammer while you're hammering out this guy. To get the hub out, obviously, we need to take the brakes off, because the brakes are on top of the hub, which has these studs, and this is the hub right here. So we're going to take out the brakes. First step of that, you pull off these little, oh, that one's lost, damn it. You pull out these little covers that hold the bolt areas that come through here with the grease. Before tearing the brakes apart, make sure that your e-brake is turned off, please. Use a 7mm Allen to remove these bolts here on the top and the bottom. You're going to want to take these bolt pins for the calipers, clean them up real nice with brake cleaner, and then we're going to re-lube those with high temperature grease. Since the bolts are out, you're going to wiggle this guy until he comes off. You need to use a 13mm. Remove this bolt and this bolt, which holds on the caliper bracket. That way we can get the caliper bracket off and yank the rotor off. For these bolts back here, they're the goofy bolt style. They take an E14. So when you go to the store, ask for an E14. And it's a reverse Torx bit socket. So you just make sure it's flush, hold it nice and tight, and it'll work. E14. Now that all 4 of the bolts are out, grab a massive hammer and start banging on this thing, because it ain't coming out. And once you get it to where there's enough gap here, then what I did was I went and got that pry bar and I pried it. I hit it with the hammer and I popped it out that way. But I had to go back and forth, side to side, over and over, come in the back, beat it up, and yeah, I eventually got it done. But you're just gonna have to put some muscle into this part of it. Maybe spray some PB Blaster on the backside here too. Once you pound out the hub, you're going to use something like this, and you need to clean up all that rust and grime and all the nastiness from the spindle so that the new one goes in nice and sits inside of the circle nice and flush. Clear the face of this guy so there's nothing on the face that could mess it up either. So there we go. I cleaned up this edge, these edges. Inside of here is nice and clean. Now we're going to put the new hub back in. When you're putting in the new hub bearing, you just want to put like 2 threads in. You want this piece, the sensor, to be towards the front of the car. Then on the front, you need to make sure the heat shield is centered between these. And now we're going to just fold it in and tighten them down from the back. Before putting your brake caliper bracket back on, clean it off with a wire brush or wire wheel, get all the chunks of rust and crap off it. You're going to need to use a brake caliper tool to spin in the piston because it's going to be pretty tight trying to get it back on. You can rent this tool or buy it at AutoZone. It's cheap. It's like 30 bucks or something. Put the rotor back on, then put the caliper bracket back on. Plug the sensor back in. Hopefully this video helped you out, and more than likely you should probably get an alignment after this. I use Firestone because they have lifetime alignments for like 200 bucks. I've already had, this will be like number 14 alignments for the same 200 bucks. I never paid again. So yeah, hopefully this saved you a bunch of money. Like, share, subscribe. Check me out on Patreon if you want. Till next time, wrench on.